Hello everyone, I'm Nilesh Ghanate and welcome back to my channel. In this lesson, we are going to understand what machine learning really is and what we mean by machine learning model. We will break these concepts in a simple, beginner-friendly way with easy to understand examples. Let's understand what is machine learning. Let me start with a simple question. You have used Google Maps, right? You type in where you want to go and it instantly shows you the fastest route. It even predicts how bad the traffic will be in the next 20 minutes from now. Here is the interesting part. But nobody, no programmer sat down and wrote rule like on a Monday morning between 8 and 9 a.m. if there is a school nearby, traffic should be heavy or the traffic will be low. That is impossible, right? So how does it work? That is machine learning. So instead of programmer writing explicit rules, you give the computer thousands or sometimes millions of examples and it figures out the patterns on its own. The machine learns from data, it identifies a pattern and make decisions with minimal human intervention. So let's understand how machine learning works with an example. Imagine a bank approaches you with a business problem. They want a software that can look at a loan application and decide whether to approve it or not, whether the loan should be approved or not. Now, given the application, some inputs like monthly income, credit score, loan amount requested, etc. If if you follow a traditional programming approach, what you do is you pick a language, a programming language like Python, and start writing rules. For example, if the income is high and the credit score is good, the loan should be approved. Similarly, if income is low and the loan amount is high, the loan should be rejected. Likewise, if the credit score is below 600, the loan should be rejected. Now, but very quickly, you will realize you need hundreds of rules because you end up writing endless if else rules, and that is impossible. There are too many combination of income, credit score, and loan amount, right? So two people with similar income can have very different repayment behavior. So you can't write rules for every situation. This is exactly where a machine learning helps. So instead of writing rules explicitly as a programmer sits and write rules in a traditional programming approach, what we do in machine learning is we collect a data set. So there are thousands of millions of data sets available today online. And what you do is you choose an algorithm here. Once you choose an algorithm, you train the algorithm with the data. Now, during the training, this algorithm studies thousands of examples, sometimes millions of examples, and find patterns that human may not recognize or notice it. And it builds a mathematical function. Now, this function is called as a model. Now, this model is the output of the machine learning process. Now, when a user enters new values for a given input, the model can predict whether the loan should be approved or not. That's what a machine learning is. A model's accuracy depends on how good your data is and how good your algorithm is. Better data, better model, better are the predictions. I hope it is clear to you. Now let's see some real-time examples of a machine learning that you use every day. Let me start with the most common ones. That is your Gmail inbox. Gmail knows what is spam and what is not because uh, someone manually because it's not like someone manually wrote some thousands or 10,000s of spam rules, but because it has seen some hundreds of millions of spam emails and learned the patterns from it. So that's how it can recognize the spam emails. Now think of about Netflix. It recommends shows you haven't heard of because it learned from millions of people who watched the same shows as you did. Similarly, your phone's face unlock, it recognizes your face instantly, even if you got a haircut or you changed your glasses or even if you put a mask, not because you gave or you defined your facial bones in the program, but because it learned from the images you gave it. That's how machine learning learns. I hope it is clear to you. Let's understand what exactly a model is. You must have heard your friends or colleagues saying that we deployed a model or the model predicted X. What exactly are they talking about? So, this word, the model, gets used everywhere in data science and machine learning, and most beginners only have a vague idea of what actually it means. Let's make it crystal clear. A model is basically a mathematical function. So, what it does is it takes some inputs and produces an output. That's all it is at the core. So the model learns patterns from the data, and those patterns get stored as set of numbers. These numbers are called weights or parameters. What we are doing here is we are adjusting those numbers until the model gets good at the task. So when you give the model a new input like customer's age, location, and usage pattern, it runs those numbers through its function and produces an output like this customer will churn or this customer will stay. That's all prediction really is. Taking new inputs, running them through the learned numbers, and producing an answer. That's what model does. It's a mathematical function. Now, this model is basically a file, just a file, something like .pkl file or pickle file, an ONNX file, that is Open Neural Network Exchange file, or a TensorFlow saved model. Now, inside the file are numbers. I told you, just numbers, millions, sometimes billions of them. Those numbers represent everything the model learned from the training data. All the knowledge is captured in those numbers. They are nothing but weights or parameters. I hope this is clear to you. Thank you for watching. I hope this lesson helped you build a solid understanding of the concepts that we covered today. I'll see you in the next video.